Look, Daddy, it's you. Let's go out to play, Daddy. More angels, Daddy. This way.
Come with us, little girl.
You want some, big guy? Bigger than hard! Get out of here, freak!
There we are. He's perfectly safe now. This is not your daughter. Do you understand? Her name is Eleanor, and she is mine. Now, kneel, please. Remove your helmet. Now, take the pistol. Place it against your head. Fire.
Welcome to Bioshock 2, the sequel to Bioshock 1, where you question what the f is happening, man. I gotta admit, I didn't give this game as much credit as it actually deserves in my Bioshock game review. Bioshock is a gem, as I've already stated, and the two games that come after it are not bad, but they don't quite reach the level of the original Bioshock. But I have a valid reason for that. I haven't played the game in years. So while I was going through the game again to make this video, I remembered how good this game actually is. The story is good, gameplay is solid, visuals could be better, but aren't bad. So what's not to like? As usual, before we begin, I want to throw out 3 disclaimers. Disclaimer number 1, I highly recommend that you watch my previous video on the original Bioshock if you haven't already. I spent way too much time on that video, and I'd appreciate it if you checked it out. Also, it might help you understand this video a little bit better. Disclaimer number 2, this is a game review. These are my opinions on the game. So if you can't take an opinionated look on something, I would suggest that you click off now. Also, there are probably spoilers. Disclaimer number 3, I was incredibly sick while playing and recording this game, and also writing the script right now. So if things don't look smoothly on the gameplay side of things, it's because I was dying on the inside while coughing my lungs out. Alright, with the disclaimers out of the way, let's just get right into it. You play the game as an Alpha Series Big Daddy named Subject Delta. Your human name is, well, it's unknown, but at least you have the nickname Johnny Topside. And your goal is to save your little sister, Eleanor Lamb, but you get hypnotized by her mother, Sophia Lamb, and you kill yourself. But luckily, Vita Chambers can now reassemble a brain that a bullet has gone through. Don't ask me how. Once you wake up from your coma, you go through the game and you end up saving your little sister, who is now a big sister, and that's Bioshock 2. That's the insanely simplified version. If you want me to make a video on the story, let me know down in the comments. If you recall from the other Bioshock video that I stated that Bioshock is the most gorgeous game ever, and I still stand by that. So by logic, the second game would look even better, right? Yeah, no. Don't get me wrong, this game still looks good, but it's not beautiful like the original. However, I think this was an intentional design choice. You see, Bioshock 2 is about the ruins of Rapture, and it takes place almost half a decade after the first game. Rapture is in shambles, and it looks god-awful. But the game makes up for this with its underwater section. There are quite a bit of them in the game, and none of them disappoint at all. Am I saying this game is as gorgeous as the original? No. But that doesn't mean it isn't beautiful at all. So the visuals get a 9 out of 10. Bioshock 2's main selling point, in my opinion, is its gameplay changes. The developers changed a lot about the core gameplay mechanics while still keeping most of them intact, which is incredible in my opinion. So, as usual, let's start off with the weapons. Bioshock 2 again has 8 weapons, being the drill, rivet gun, 50 cal, shotgun, spear gun, launcher, research camera, and the hack tool. Yes, you heard me correctly. Hacking is now a weapon. Why? Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but this actually makes hacking way more simple, and honestly, it flows better than it did in the original. See what I did? Also, there's a 9th weapon, being the ion laser, but that's a DLC, and I'll touch on it when I get to it. Of course, it wouldn't be a Bioshock game without plasmids, and guess what? They all make a return, baby! Except Enrage being the only exception. Plus, with the addition of 2 extra plasmids, which I will get into later, but I will talk about one of them now since the other is involved with DLC. The first new plasmid is Summon Eleanor. In the third act of the game, you are given this plasmid, and it does exactly what you think it would do. Summon Eleanor. This plasmid is pretty good since she's very powerful, and she also draws some attention, so you aren't being shot at by 47 different enemies. Vending machines make a return, and they are the exact same as they were in the original, which that's not a problem at all. And the only thing that really changes is the fact that you can carry $600 instead of $500, which is a pretty good change in my opinion. Now let's talk about hacking. Hacking is now a weapon, as I've already said, and it is much more simplified than it was in the original Bioshock. It's a simple meter that you have to stop the needle on the green or blue parts of the meter to hack whatever you're hacking. You can hack the exact same things from the first game, with the door control panel being the only new addition. So since it's technically a weapon now, does that mean it has ammo? Yes, it does. It has normal hacking darts, auto hacking darts, and it also has a small little turret you can put on the ground. Hacking is just as useful as it was in the first game, and honestly, I really like this change. I think it's a good change of pace. Back on the topic of weapons, every weapon in this game is actually really good, and the power to the people station makes a return, and you can upgrade each weapon a total of 3 times instead of 2. The third upgrade can only be accessed by getting the first 2 upgrades for the gun you're choosing to upgrade. The third upgrade changes the gun drastically, giving it a unique ability, like being able to have incendiary rounds for your rivet gun. Side note, the rivet gun is the best gun in the game when fully upgraded, in my opinion. The research camera makes a return, and it's also changed quite a bit. Instead of taking pictures, you take recordings of you killing people. So basically, you're a vlogger in this game. And for each recording, you have to do something different to boost your score to get more research bonuses. I personally think this change is a more integrated form of the research camera, but I will admit that the OG camera was a lot easier to get research bonuses. Of course, little sisters make a return, but since you're a big daddy, you have to do things a little differently to get your Atom. You still have to kill other big daddies to get the little sisters, but you have different choices. You can harvest them like before, but instead of saving them, you can adopt them. Yes, you can adopt a little sister. This game, it doesn't, don't question anything, man. Just don't bother. Adopting a little sister can get you much more Atom than just straight out harvesting them. Once you adopt a little sister, you have to take them to Atom-filled corpses and protect her as she harvests them for Atom. Once you finish the harvest, you can send them home, or you can do another harvest. Then you choose to save them or harvest them. And again, saving them is worth your while because you will get more Atom in the long run. And you also get more gene tonics, which I will get into a little bit. Once you harvest or save every little sister in a level, a big sister will come after you, and they are mean. Once you kill one, you can loot them for even more extra items. So taking your time to harvest all the little sisters and have them do their harvest is definitely worth your time. Gene tonics are back, and they are better than ever. Remember how we had physical, engineer, and combat tonics? Well, Bioshock 2 said to hell with all that shit. You can just equip up to 18 gene tonics with no restrictions. This is way better in my opinion, instead of complicating things. Plus, we even got more gene tonics this time, like being able to get even more Atom from your little sister's harvest. Before I finished my playthrough, I had every single one of my gene tonic slots filled, and I was basically unstoppable. Just like in the first Bioshock, you switch out these gene tonics and your plasmids at a gene bank. One thing that I do want to touch on is the different gameplay perspectives that you experience throughout the game. You get to play in underwater sections, teleport all throughout Rapture from an unstable teleport plasmid.
What are you?
And you even get to play as little sister at some point.
I know this feels a bit strange, Father, but now you can see through her eyes and tell her where to go. This is how I brought you back without Mother catching on. Now, first, let's get you out of here.
This is the other thing that I feel that really makes this game great and makes it stand out alongside the other gameplay changes. Now that we've covered all the gameplay stuff, let's talk about the enemies. Just like the original, Bioshock 2 has a large assortment of enemies ranging from splicers to big sisters. Sadly, there is no boss fight in this game. Even though the Frank Fontaine boss fight wasn't anything earth-shattering, it was still a boss fight nonetheless, so I will be deducting a few points because of that. Choices. Oh god, remember how in the first Bioshock video the gameplay section was the longest section? Well, this is gonna be the longest section. You have 6 different endings in Bioshock 2. 6 different endings. 2 good, 2 neutral, and 2 bad endings. These all depend on a few different things: how you treat the little sisters and the 3 people who have wronged you in the past. Throughout the game, you encounter 3 different people who were involved in you becoming a big daddy in the first place. And you have 2 options: walk away or kill them. If you want the good ending, don't kill anyone. You want the neutral ending, kill 1 or 2 and leave 1 to live. Or kill them all to get the bad ending. Yeah, honestly, you know, you can carve your own path. No one cares, man.
The rapture dream is over, but in waking, I am reborn. This world is not ready for me, yet here I am. It would be so easy to misjudge them. You are my conscience, Father, and I need you to guide me. You will always be with me now, Father. Your memories, your drives. And when I need you, you'll be there on my shoulder, whispering. If Utopia is not a place, but a people, then we must choose carefully, for the world is about to change. And in our story, Rapture was just the beginning.
And there are 2 versions of each ending. One where Eleanor takes your atom to preserve your memories, or the other where she just kind of leaves you to bleed out and just does her own. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, man, and honestly, they are all canon. Technically, just like in my first Bioshock video, I'm saying technically because once we get to Bioshock Infinite, it doesn't even matter anymore, man. It really doesn't. But this is a step up from the original, in my opinion, choice-wise. Now, the endings themselves, if they're good or bad, is honestly just up to a matter of opinion. And my opinion is, I think the original is better. Fight me, idiot. DLC. Now, the original Bioshock did have DLC, but I didn't cover it in my game review because it was just a bunch of challenges that didn't really bring anything crazy to the table. But Bioshock 2 is not the same. You see, this game has 2 DLCs, and one is just another set of challenges, but the other is actually a story-driven DLC. This is Minerva's Den. Minerva's Den is actually a really fun DLC, and it adds a couple of new things like the ion laser weapon and the gravity well plasmid. These are both very useful and great additions to Bioshock 2. I'm not going to talk about the story because that would take way too long, but if I do a story video in the future, I will talk about it then. Bioshock 2 is a great game, and I didn't give it as much credit as I should have in my original Bioshock game review. It changed a lot gameplay-wise, and they were all relatively good changes, and they still felt true to the original Bioshock. The only real problems that I have with this game is the endings. They're not bad, I'm just not really a fan of them, and I much prefer the original Bioshock's ending. The other real problem that I have is the visuals. You would think they would look a lot better, you know, than the first, graphics-wise, but they managed to look a little worse. I know I pointed this out as a design choice, but still, I'm taking points off because it doesn't make sense. Logically, the second game would look better. You know, like I said, I'm not questioning it, and you shouldn't either. So my final rating for Bioshock 2 is an 8.5 out of 10. 1.4 points below Bioshock 1. This didn't take as long as the first one to make, but it did take a while to record and get around to because I was very sick. I was literally dying. It wasn't fun. So please make sure to like the video. It would really help out a lot, as well as subscribe for new content, and make sure to ring that bell to get notified whenever I upload. I appreciate all the support you guys give me, and now that both of the original Bioshock games are out of the way, I will be working on the Bioshock Infinite game review video, and I'm already about halfway through the gameplay recording, so maybe that video will be up next month. I'm not joking. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.